So some deadlifts, right? So less important than last week. I feel like after last week, our W's that we took away from the deadlifts, we're chilling. We just got to continue to lock in and just like not get back to a point where we're just like fucking around and just fucking up a deadlift. So after last week, basically, we're in a much better place with the deads. So it's a lot less important. You know, every lift that you do is important. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be treating everything like fucking around. I'm just saying it's like last week we were like, dude, it is essential that we need to lock in, because we were in a position where if I really felt like if we had one more bad deadlift session, when the time came by the end of the program, we were not going to hit the numbers that we want to hit with the deads. But we were able to get back on track with that. So we're big chilling on pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Like, got the deads back on track. Bench is going very, very well. Squat is going very well. So I would say that the goal for today and the rest of this program actually is just to continue to lock in, continue to work every single time we're here, continue to chase perfection and get as close to it as humanly possible every single lift, and set ourselves up for a good PR week, or peak week, I guess you could call it, because you're not guaranteed the PRs, but set ourselves up for a good peak week. You know what I mean? But yeah, all that being said, we have some slight sets of 475, I believe, with the deadlifts, a couple sets of 3, and we're gonna head into the bench. So we're gonna warm up to that and get her done. All right. So I think as time's been going on, because I was saying yesterday, like, man, powerlifting deloads don't feel like regular deloads, but I kind of changed my mind. I kind of just looked at the benching weight and thought I was doing back off sets of 345, but actually it was 315. And I think now that I've been on like multiple powerlifting programs, I actually do feel like this is a solid deload this week. Like, even today, bro, like for deadlifts, we just have 3 sets of 3, not even in the 500 range. So, I don't know, just something I thought about. Anyways, warmed up to it. First set, 475 for 3. Even though this is a deload, so we're using lighter weight, less volume, we're still gonna be focusing, you know what I mean, on technique, like mastering our craft. We're not gonna use, you know, deload week as an excuse to kind of just like fuck around with lighter weight. Bro, Lana Del Rey, that Young and Beautiful slowed, you're welcome. That will carry you through your next workout. But yeah, that was some slight, really good for a first set. You know what I mean? Weight's moving exceptionally well for being a Tuesday on top of a deload, as I already explained yesterday. You know, like during that deload week, weight's gonna be feeling a little bit heavier because you're at that point when your body needs a deload, which is what has you doing a deload, so it kind of wrecked, you know what I mean? So, you know, weight's gonna be feeling a little bit heavier. So, all things considered, like, weight's moving well on deadlifts. Operation Lock Back In last week seems to have paid off. Representative of society, civilization as a whole as we know it. It's little by little now, but it picks up. Before it was just shavings. Now we're starting to see noticeable cracks, decay, and it only gets worse from there. So the whole thing Anyway, second set. Kind of put that down with a little bit of force, my bad. All right, one more set of that. Let me move on to the bench. Deads are feeling really fucking good today. Lock it in for one more set. I'm telling you, man, like, does feel good. Like, I'm telling you, Operation Lock Back In last week was a huge success. I know it's deload weight, 475. It's kind of like pussy shit, but it's kind of like, you know, weeks before, we have worked with like 465, 475s on those primary deadlifts, and they weren't moving like this. You know what I'm saying? So, and that comes on a day, Tuesday, we're more fatigued and tired than usual. And like I said, deload week, where our body is going to be at a pretty weak point in time. So I'm definitely happy about that. Once deload's over, we might be fucking smoking deadlifts, you know, and we might be able to not only, I'll say, because I don't want to like get too ahead of myself, we should be able to, you know, if things go as well as today, definitely get back up to where we left off before I was injured for the deadlifts. But all right, time to head into the bench. So we got on the weight, 345, top set of 3. Then we're gonna do some back off sets, I think of 6 with the 320 pounds. This should prove to be very, very slight considering yesterday, after doing 385 for 2 sets of 1, we accidentally put on the 345 and banged that out for 5. Like, I wouldn't say negative difficulty, but definitely a no diff. You know what I mean? At no point in time was I like, man, this is a lot of reps. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. You know what I'm saying? So this is easy shit. But like I said, you know what I mean? Like deload weight, easy shit, light shit, technique work. Don't just, you know, let the easy weight just be easy and that's it. You know what I mean? Still care for it the way you would if you're doing some crazy heavy shit. I'm gonna be treating this like it's a set of 405 for 3. You know what I'm saying? Just still working on a craft technique, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Slight, felt good. Now we're gonna back down to 320 and bang that out for 3 sets of 6. I dropped it down to 320. Now we're gonna dominate it. Stand over top of it with confidence, bravado. I will conquer you for 6. America, America, land where you can lift weights. You get your dates by lifting plates, and you will say hooray. America, America, we have Barbella here. I will nut when I lift weight and smear it on her. Man, what a Tuesday, bro. The weight feels incredibly fucking light with everything that I'm doing today. Better than it did yesterday. And it's a Tuesday, bro. Like, these are the days where I feel like dog shit. And I feel like dog shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel more tired and exhausted than usual, but like, the weight is hitting, man. It's hitting. But yeah, 2 more sets of that, and we are done. So I made a little bit of a oopsies, and I was like, let me just do 1 set real quick off camera, you know, and then we'll just do the last one on camera. Didn't realize that we were only doing 2 sets of 320, not 3. So I'm actually done, but I will just tell you that it was a smooth set. You know what I'm saying? And overall, I am very, very happy with just how the weight moved. I know it's a little bit silly to be happy about how deload weight is moving, but it's more so about the all things considered. You know what I mean? The bigger picture, right? So weight that I was doing in the beginning of the program, you know what I'm saying? Like today, like for example, so like week 2, week 3 of this program, we're on week 5 by the way. When I was doing deadlifts, like my primary deads, we'd work with like 465, and the 475 today, during a time where our body needs to deload, you know, where we're gonna be weaker than like, you know, when we did that 465, it moved hell of a lot smoother. Like, I think that was the quickest since like Prime Kev that we moved the deadlifts. Like, since Prime Kev, we have not moved weight. And I know it's only 475, but still, since Prime Kev, we have not moved weight like that fucking quick. So, and then the bench was flying today. You know what I mean? So it's more so just like the bigger picture. Just take into consideration that it's a Tuesday, that's a deload week. I'm very happy that the weight was moving the way that it did. And it tells me, like, not just for the bench are we on par to have something good happen for that week 9 peak week, but also for the deads. If we just keep this up, you know what I mean? Continue to fucking lock in. We're gonna be in for some good shit. We're gonna be in for some good shit for the deadlifts on peak week 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, dare I say, maybe even get a new PR. I just didn't want to like overestimate. Like, it's still like a couple weeks before we get to peak week, so still want to feel it out. But right now, I can say that I do at least feel good that by the time we get to peak week, we're gonna be able to like hit our prime weight, like the weight that we got up to before we got injured on deads, which is 670. But yeah, until tomorrow.